Hi everyone. So this is my first Green Gramps on the Hill report from my first week back in front of the House of Commons following their sitting schedule. I know this is all new to some of you as I recently added some new email addresses to this list. I hope you will follow along as I continue on my journey here in Ottawa to remind the MPs on a daily basis that they have made promises to us about the environmental crisis facing us all, and that we expect them to keep or exceed them. I am also standing in solidarity with all of the young people across the country and indeed around the world who are deeply concerned about what their futures are going to look like. You can catch up on my work here during the first 3 weeks of December 2019 by searching for my channel on YouTube entitled Green Gramps on the Hill. If you don't have a lot of time, I can suggest 3 of the videos that will get you up to speed about what I have been doing here, as well as other people who are going to extraordinary lengths to give this crisis the attention it deserves. Those videos are Why I'm Going to Ottawa, Throne Speech Day, and Ottawa Day 7, where I introduce Anne Cognito, a 50-year-old woman who walked across the country from Calgary to Ottawa this past summer and is camped in a tent next to the Prime Minister's office. I just came from there this afternoon and I'm happy to tell you that she is well and has passed the 60-day mark in her quest to meet the Prime Minister. If you haven't already, please look up her petition on change.org entitled The Expedition Walk to Waken the Nation. She's at 4,000 names and is trying to get to 10,000. So by all means, forward it and this to your friends. So, what's been going on this past week? First of all, I was fortunate enough to have Denise, my wife of 37 years, join me on the Hill. I guess maybe that makes her Green Grams on the Hill. We had 3 very cold days to cope with, so we took a few warming breaks at a nearby Timmy's to allow feet and hands to warm up. My gal is a trooper, so she made it through and was able to appreciate what it is like spending the whole day there. A lot of long, boring stretches with not much action, followed by times of high foot traffic, lots of smiles, fist bumps, thumbs up, etc. Less chatting with the MPs because it was so cold this week, but it is supposed to be warmer this coming week, which, of course, wasn't normal for this time of year in Ottawa in the past, but seems to be the new normal. We had a new sign with us this week as well, asking the MPs to say no to Tech Frontier, which, if you haven't heard about that, is the next phase of the oil sands project in Alberta, which has passed all regulatory hurdles except the final approval by Parliament due sometime this month. This open pit mine will be even bigger than the current project, some 269 square miles, and is slated to run until 2068 and produce some 260,000 barrels a day at peak production. Canada already has the dubious reputation of having the dirtiest oil production facility in the world. And the Alberta government, under the leadership of Conservative Jason Kenney, wants to more than double its size. They have to excavate solid bitumen from the ground, take it to a production facility where millions of gallons of fresh water a year are heated into steam to extract the petroleum from it, using massive amounts of kilowatts to do that. And then they store the dirty, polluted water in tailing ponds, where they leach into the groundwater in local rivers, not to mention the thousands of hectares of virgin forest that will be destroyed to even get access to the ground to begin with. If Canada allows this project to proceed, we will never meet our climate targets by any date let alone 2030, and will never be taken seriously by the rest of the global community as climate protection leaders. So for the first time since I started this campaign, we had some conservative MPs speak to us and acknowledge that we were even there. Of course, because the entire party, with the possibility of a few exceptions, is the oil industry's favorite party, they all have to show support for this horrific project. Even Aaron O'Toole from Durham, Ontario. It makes one seriously wonder about how much lobbying these members are absorbing, if you catch my drift. Thomas Mulcair, in a recent article in the Toronto Sun, wrote, Jason Kenney has been playing three-dimensional chess while Ottawa is still trying to figure out the rudiments of Parcheesi. The Alberta Premier met with Trudeau before the holidays and has been laying the groundwork for the approval of this massive new project. He outmaneuvered Trudeau with his carbon tax on large emitters, and he's playing cat and mouse with new Environment Minister Jonathan Wilkinson and Trudeau Uber Minister Chrystia Freeland on this issue. Kenney has made this project an essential condition for Alberta. Freeland has been tasked with managing our national conversation, something for which Trudeau has shown little interest. She will be pushing for approval. Having asked her to do his homework for him, Trudeau will follow her advice no matter what the long-term cost. Also this week, my sister came up to join me for a day and brought up a new banner that I had made up to reinforce the promises to keep message. That was an enjoyable day for me, and I was very grateful to her for joining us. And finally, I will end with another inspirational lady who I met this week at Anne's camp. She has joined this quest of ours to keep attention on this critical issue as much as possible. Her name is Penny Betson, and I know she won't mind me telling you that she is 72 years young. She is a pensioner living in Toronto, and this year she joined the local chapter of Extinction Rebellion and participated in marches and other actions. She gets $1,600 a month from her government pension, and her apartment costs her $900. And she is using whatever she has left over to work in this movement. She took a bus to Ottawa this past week to sleep at Anne's camp in a tent during these very cold nights. And she is a wonderful inspiration to us all. Again, as I say over and over, the climate crisis is causing ordinary people to do extraordinary things. So that's it for this week. Thank you for watching, and remember to write your members of Parliament, no stamp required, to let them know of your concern for your children and grandchildren. Green Gramps on the Hill, signing out.